Okay, YouTubers, I'm back doing my do-it-yourself videos, and I'm going to show you today what I did to my sprinkler box that's outside, which is really not, now it's outside, but it was inside the house, which was a pain to get to. Every time that I wanted to turn on the sprinklers, I had to go in the house, come back out, make sure that it were on. It was just a pain. It's easier out here. Now, what I did is, I went on ahead and bought a 12 by 12. I'll put my phone up here. There we go. A 12 by 12 by 4 inch weatherproof box, which I got at Home Depot for about $29. And I thought to myself, okay, this is a good idea. Inside sits my sprinkler system, or the control anyway, with the sensor and all that. But it takes 8 of these screws. And I thought, okay, that is a good idea, but every time that I want to get into my sprinkler box, I got to take the screws off, and no, it wasn't worth it. So I thought to myself, gee, I could go ahead and make this into a latching box that I can open and unclose at random. Those sell for about $130 to $160. Trust me, I didn't want to pay that for it. So what I did is, I went on ahead and I got some parts. And let me show you what I got. What you're going to need is some number 6 stainless steel screws. Oh, and by the way, make sure that everything that I show you, you buy or you get stainless steel. You don't want metal out here in the middle of the weather. So you'll need a drill. I got an 1/8 inch drill bit somewhere in here, and some screws, nuts, stuff. I'll show you what to do. Now the big thing for this is this latch, which I got from all places, Walmart. It's from 5 Oceans. It's called the 5 Oceans 316 stainless steel anti-rattle latch, and it's got a model number of FO4181. They were like about $3 a piece, which is really nice because, as you can see, it's adjustable, it plays, it's easy to control, locks, opens, everything. So that, and then for the hinge side, I went on ahead to Lowe's and I got this stainless steel cabinet latch, or hinge. I'm losing my mind. So now with the screws and everything, I'm going to show you guys what to do, and I'm going to show you some little extras that I added to it just for fun and giggles. So let us begin. What do we do first? Okay, first thing that you're going to do is put the screws back in the box, because when you mount all this stuff, you want to make sure that the box is nice and tightly sealed. This is worth its weight in gold. Trust me on this. And you don't have to torque it down, just make sure it's tight. Do the top just for fun. Unlatches it. Okay, that's going to stay shut for a while. Now we're going to take our drill with our 1/8 inch drill bit, and start with our latch part. And you're also going to need a Sharpie just to help you out. I mounted one on the top, I'm going to mount one on the bottom, about midway, just to help it close. And what you want to do is flush it as best you can. It can be like right in the center, and then just start it with a dot there. Okay, now this is the tricky part, because what you want to do is, there's about a 1/4 inch piece of plastic gap in there, and the rest is just lip. You want to drill into that plastic, so just carefully aim it straight. Make sure you don't pop out the front. And off and on, and as you're drilling it, take it out and clean the drill bit. I already had one drill bit bust because the plastic melted and it's seized in there. It's nice and solid, so I know I'm going straight. There, that should be plenty. I'll take your screw, take your latch, and pop her in. Oops. Straighten her out as best as you can. I notice I didn't do a very good job there, but que sera, sera. Okay, and do the same thing here. Center it and drill ever so carefully. The key to this is patience. Now I can tell that I popped off into the cabinet, but that's okay because I still got a good feel about it. And put Mr. Screw in. There, that part is done. Next thing that we're going to do is take your latching part, hook it in, tighten it in like thusly. Don't worry about it because this is adjustable. Let it hang for a second. Well, let's not let it hang, it's going to fall. Okay. Put her in. Pop it open. Just put one screw in for now. And drill in. When I do the other side, I'm going to show you. Make sure you don't have any equipment that you're going to be drilling into on the inside. That could be a bad thing. Oh, well, yeah. No, like I said, this is adjustable, so don't worry about it. Go. And now drill in the other two. Oh, come on, loose. There we go. And put her screws in and go. Okay. And now you want to adjust it. Right now it's just sitting there. It's not really, I gotta scratch my head. It's not really latching strongly because it's just sitting there. So we tighten her up a couple of turns. That's all it takes right there. She's latched. And then screw in this nut. And we're gonna tighten that up later. Okay. So there are my two latches. I don't know if he's popping off, but it's because I got the screws in. So that part's done. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the hinge part. So what we're gonna do is take our hinge Now you notice this is lifted up a little bit because you've got the lip here. So what I want to do is line this up as close as possible. It doesn't have to be exactly, and do the same thing. This is where I said you got to be careful, because I know that I've got my wireless rain sensor in there, and I do not want to just take your time. Clean her off a bit. There we go. Awesome. And we do the bottom. And a little more. Okay. No, we're almost done. Now remember, I've got my rain sensor in there, so let's go ahead and open her up. I completely forgot to remove it. And there she sits. So let's take that off. Alright. And unfortunately you gotta put the screws back on. I think we can get away with two. Alright, now what I'm gonna do, and I use my handy dandy little screwdriver here, is, since I've got a gap here, pop this open and just stick my screwdriver in there to hold it off a bit so that I can drill straight. If it's sitting up against there, it's gonna wanna go at an angle. I haven't gotten a comment lately about, oh, you're violating code by putting in a sealed box, blah, 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 blah. Now, what I could do is I put a bunch of washer in there, I could put a spacer, I could put whatever. I didn't have any of that stuff, so, and I will tell you this, you can open her up and try to do what I'm gonna do with the nuts. It doesn't work. You have to take it off completely. Sad but true. So we're gonna put it back on, and it's gonna look like that. It's gonna look real pretty. I feel like Bob Ross. Now we're gonna add some shades to the box. Make it a little bit more gray than it really looks. Now here's what we're gonna do. Take 2 of these nuts and put them in. That's why you buy extra, because you're gonna drop some. It's the nature of the beast. Alright. And start with any screw you want. Just gonna basically start it. You're just gonna basically start it, but not finish it. There we go. Take another screw, another 2 nuts. I think this is like the biggest pain part, is putting this thing together with the nuts. See what I mean about dropping things? That's why you get extras. And get that one started. Okay, one more. Down at the bottom. I found that as I get older, my fingers get fatter and it's harder to do stuff. Really? That's 2. We should do a count. So far I've dropped 2 things. How many things can I drop? Before I finish this project. I resolve not to drop anything else. Okay, now. That's in. You get in there. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and close her up. And put some screws in there. Now with those 2 nuts back there, you've got perfect spacing. Make this tight because there's a reason for that, because you're going to Dremel those ends off when you're done. Alright, now let's open her up. Take the screws off. This should be the last time that you put screws on there, except for decoration. Look at that, she's nice and neat. This is what I meant about this screw here went right into the plastic. This one came out a little bit on the outside. This one came out on the outside, but that's okay. The gasket is still sealed. Will this work? I wonder. Yeah. I need to cut that one off. But as you can see, what I ended up doing is I cut the heads off so that when I go in here to work on this thing, I'm not scratching my arms all up. So I just used a little $5.99 Dremel from Harbor Freight. So that's pretty much it. The only other thing that I'm going to do to make it pretty is lock this up. I'm going to put these are from sliding glass door security, which I'm going to put in here. I have two of them. I did have two of them. This is from Lowe's again. $2.88. Hardware wise, and then I'll just take these two chains, put them together, and stick them up here somewhere so that I don't lose them. Hardware wise, I'm looking at about $20 for the hinges, which is like $2.99. Bargain bin at Lowe's. These were the expensive things. They were $3 each, so that's 6 and 2. So we're looking, well, this is really 3, so that's 9. These were $2.89 for the whole thing, and the screws were like $5. So altogether, you can probably put this thing together for under $50. And like I said, the locking box was $120 to $150. Okay, now what I did is, because I'm like super anal, and I lost my scissors. Alright. I bought these number 14s. I have no idea if they're going to work or not. But I just want to put them in here. Oh, they're going to work. Now, they're pushing back a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill out that hole. So I'm going to put these in so that it looks like there are screws in here, and it's just going to look awesome. And what I'll do is I'll come back later on and show you the totally finished project. After I cut, oh, like I said, these, just a $5.99 Dremel, cut them off, and you'll be good to go. So I will be back. Let me get my phone, turn off my GoPro. Okay guys, we're back. And as you can see, what I ended up doing is I put in my number 14 screws into the front so that it looks really, really cool. I got my pins in with my chain. Take the pins off and I'll show you on the inside. I gotta adjust that, it's a little bit off. And what I did is I drilled the holes out so that the screw tips fit in. But I didn't drill them out very tough so that they do stick in a little bit and hold it. I cut my screws ends off. And make sure when you put this in, that the gasket, you glue it down because it wants to fly off for whatever reason. That is my project. Like I said, for about 50 bucks, I got a locking box, not $150 like they wanted. And we lock her up. Whoop, that one pops off. Put my pins in, and this project is done. Next week, what I'll probably do is I'm going to show you guys how I fix the sprinkler heads, because a lot of them have been under the ground so long that they sunk even deeper. I had to turn on the water and just pray that I could find a big wet spot, and then I found the sprinkler head. Very important to note, if you call the sprinkler company and they come out and they say, oh, your heads are leaking and we got to replace them all, these are Hunter, and I've got some K8000s in there. They do not need to be replaced. You can buy a kit for like 37 cents to rebuild them, and I will show you that next week. Man, as always, come on back and check me out. I'm always doing do-it-yourself projects. All right, until next time, see you guys later. Bye.